Want to listen to the podcast where we talk sports raw and unfiltered?
Mahomes looking to flip, takes it in for the touchdown.
Looking for a little something on the edgy side?
Keep your head out there. They're going to do dumb. Play our game. All right? Play hard, but stay poised.
You're about to be locked into the Unscripted podcast.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Oh, man. Welcome back. Unscripted podcast, episode number 3. This episode has made as many shots as Paul George has made this series. No. I'm just joking. I'm not going to keep slandering Paul George like that. I appreciate everybody that always takes time out of their busy day, morning, night, evening, eating dinner, whatever you're doing. I truly appreciate you taking time out your busy day listening to the podcast. As always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Brian Ain't Lying. Easiest way to find me. Search my first and last name. I don't hide my government name from anybody. Everybody's favorite guy right now, as of yesterday, Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks stole. And when I say stole, they stole that game from the Los Angeles Clippers. And I'm not going to say they stole it because I'm a Mavs fan. I was completely shocked. The Clippers were up 21 points. Now, mind you, I tweet this out all the time. Basketball is a game of runs. People tend to forget that in a game of basketball, you're going to have certain runs. Now, don't get me wrong. When the Clippers were up 56-33, I believe, I said to myself, oh, man, the Mavs ain't coming back from that. I mean, no Kristaps Porzingis. I was like, they're just not coming back. And they found a way to come back, and they won the game. Here's what everyone is confused at, including myself. I'm not going to slander him, but I do have questions. Kawhi Leonard is a Finals MVP. Kawhi Leonard is a great defensive player. Why do you go under the screen and leave Reggie Jackson to check Luka? That should never happen. I'm not going to single-handedly blame the loss on Kawhi Leonard because if it wasn't for Kawhi, they probably aren't in the game. Between Kawhi and lapdance Lou Williams, they wouldn't be in the game. Lou had 36 off the bench. Kawhi had 32. But I'm saying this on the final play of the game. You knew that Rick Carlisle had the play drawn up. It was going to go to Luka. He trusts Luka that much to put it in Luka's hand, and he was going to win with Luka or lose with Luka. And they hit the game-winning 3 to defeat the Los Angeles Clippers. Again, I'm still confused of why Kawhi Leonard did not go under the screen. A great defender as he is, I didn't think he would honestly make that mistake. Huge mistake. It ties up the series. I said this series is going to go to 7 games. Here's what I'll tell you this. If it goes to 7 games and the Mavs win, again, I'm not shocked. I think I picked the Mavs in 7. I think I took the Mavs in 7. This does damage to the Clippers franchise real quick because you acquired Kawhi Leonard and you traded for Paul George. And this was supposed to be the 2 guys to get this team over the hump, and they haven't. It's gotten so bad. It's gotten so bad, y'all, that Paul George has shut down the comments off of Instagram. Like, so if I'm on Paul George's team and I'm having a conversation with him, I'm like, yo, P, let's have a talk, because I'm not calling him playoff P. He's pitiful P right now. Everything he's doing is pitiful. His game is pitiful. He's playing pitiful, and he's looking for pity. Nobody's going to give you pity, sir. You are a superstar, or you're claiming to be in that superstar category. You have to take the good with the bad. But he disabled the comments off Instagram, and if I'm his teammates, then I'm starting to say to myself, you know, is this guy really who we thought he was? Because we brought him in here to be a leader, and instead he's checking social media. And I get it. Inside the bubble, there's nothing to do. So you get distracted by checking social media. But now his teammates have to go to him and say, look, man, put social media away for a while. And again, I'm going to play on Paul George's side on this one. Put social media down, man. Go out there and play your game. Stop trying to impress people and, take whatever, 21 shots. It's not going to happen. Play your game because you've already told the media, you've already told them that, hey, you're not a James Harden. Your game is not set on just scoring. You're an all-around player. We're not even seeing an all-around game from Paul George. So again, I'm not going to waste all this episode slandering Paul George because we do it enough on Twitter. I want to give credit to somebody, and maybe I jumped the gun yesterday. But I was just truly frustrated, though, and I think I own the right to be frustrated at Montrezl Harrell for calling Luka what he called him. I'm not going to repeat that on the air. Of course, you guys have internet. You guys have YouTube. You can see everything that he put out, hear everything that he said. I'm just disappointed because at the rate that we're going, we're preaching Black Lives Matter, and we're looking for the movement, and we're looking for social justice, and we're always looking to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. And now, you know, you got to have better words because I get it. When you're frustrated, you tend to say anything. Let me tell you something. I've been on the court. No, I have not played in the NBA, but I can tell you this. When I'm frustrated, I'm going to say your mama this, your daddy this, your grandma this. I seen your grandma last night naked in the window. I'm going to say those type of things to get underneath your skin, but I don't think I would get to that point where I start challenging your race. So, I mean, again, I appreciate what Montrezl Harrell did. I would have loved to see the NBA step in on this because they didn't. They did not step in on this, and I was looking for the league to kind of take some type of action. I wasn't looking for, for him to be kicked out of the league. I know people tend to say, oh, let's kick him out of the league. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for some type of action. Appreciate Montrezl Harrell going up to Luka and apologizing, but it can't happen again because on that floor right now, they can pick up every single word that you say. Nothing's blanked out. Live TV tries to catch everything that they can. If you notice during the game, you get some type of pauses sometimes because some words are said that can't be repeated on national TV. So, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And also, let's fight justice for Jacob Blake as well, too. I forgot to mention him. You guys read the story. I don't want to talk about it right now because right now I'm kind of disgusted. I think the cops are just taking the easy way out now. I get it. It's defend yourself, but man, look, they're shooting first and asking questions later. I'm not cool with that. But that's a whole nother topic, and I don't want to get all emotional and get in between that and get people all riled up and everything like that. Because this is a podcast you're supposed to enjoy, and as always, you listen to the Unscripted podcast. Wow, man, it's like the West is giving us all the storylines. Like, I mean, Donovan Mitchell last night, 51 points. This is his second 50-point game. Where Spider came from? Like, it seems like I said this on the first episode. Guys went into the bubble and got better. I don't know if it's because of less distractions. I would be thinking in today's world with, again, social media, just anything that you would be distracted. But these guys are like completely locked in. I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell wasn't this good pre-pandemic, but he wasn't this. This is 50 points in 2 games. 50 points. So he's in the same conversation right now. Think about it. He gets to look up and go, wow, man, I scored 50 points in a series 2 times in a row. Michael Jordan done that. How good does that make you feel? That has to be a great feeling that you score 50 points. Utah to me is shockingly up 3-1. But again, on the last episode, I called the Denver Nuggets the regular season Nuggets. This is why I called them the regular season Nuggets. And just to backtrack a little bit about Luka's game winner shot, which I forgot to talk about on the opening. It was funny because TNT cut to Shaq, and Shaq was just looking like, I've seen that before. That's how you could tell a guy has won like championships. Like Shaq's like, I've seen it before. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, whoever, Kobe Bryant. He's seen these type of shots. And yes, I brought Kobe Bryant's name up today. Yes, because I'm representing Kobe today on 824. Rest in peace, Kobe. As always, appreciate every single thing you did for the game of basketball and just life in general, man, because you showed us that in order to get where we want to be in life, you have to work hard. It is not given, it is earned. So yeah, shout out to Kobe and rest in peace. But yeah, Shaq talked about that last night, and yeah, the game winner, it was outstanding. Don't get me wrong, I jumped up and down, and then when I heard Shaq say "calm down," I got furious. I'm like, what am I coming down for? That was a game winner, and Shaq just broke it down a little bit more, and he was like, "We've seen this before. Why are we acting like this has never happened?" It calmed me down, sort of, kinda. I wasn't like jumping up and down, going crazy. Um, but yeah, props to Luka, man. And then one more thing about Luka. This has been a Luka podcast right now. Luka, you better send me some shoes or something, man. I get kind of upset, and this is something personal before we take a quick break here. I get kind of personal with Luka because I see people saying that Luka is the next Larry Bird. Mind you, we're trying to move forward, and we're classifying people still together with the same skin color. No, he's not, white all the way, but we're classifying him as white with Larry Bird. I said this earlier on Twitter. Luka is more Magic Johnson than Larry Bird. Larry was great. I'm not taking that away from Larry. I don't think Luka is Larry. Luka is more Magic Johnson. So I want us to kind of come out of comparing the wrong guys together just because of the skin pigmentation, I guess. We want to say, oh, yeah, well, Luka's Bird. No, Luka's Magic Johnson. If you looked at Magic in the 80s, any old timers that's listening to the show, if you watched Magic Johnson in the 80s, these are the things that Magic did. I think Magic, when he won the championship in '79, I don't have the numbers in front of me, he had these type of numbers that Luka had yesterday. In the 80s, he had similar type of numbers that Luka had. So I'm going to compare Luka more to Magic Johnson than Larry Bird. All right, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side of the break, and we'll talk about playoff LeBron, a.k.a. locked in LeBron. And we'll talk about the Boston Celtics sweeping the Philadelphia 76ers. And today we found out that Brett Brown is no longer the coach of the 76ers. So we'll talk some locked in LeBron, the 76ers, and we'll talk a little bit more playoff talk. You're tuned into the Unscripted podcast. Hang tight, folks.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Bailey.
And I'm Mike Hill.
And our lives matter.
Black Lives Matter.
I am Dr. Contessa Metcalf, and my life matters.
Our lives matter.
Black Lives Matter.
My name is Tanya Sam. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
We will continue to fight for Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd, and so many others who have lost their lives. But we have to create a change, you guys. We have to use our voices, our resources, and our wallets to make that change. I ask of you today to make a donation to Know Your Rights Camp.
Colors Change.
NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund.
ACLU. Black Lives Matter.
Our lives matter.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I might look like an adult, like a person who could possibly be a parent, but I have no idea how to talk like one. And everyone knows that if you want to be a parent, you have to sound good when you say things like, "Don't make me turn this car around," or "because I said so," or "Don't make me come back there." I don't even really know what those things mean, but I know that I actually believed my parents when they said them to me. How did they manage to sound so convincing? Here we go. "Don't make me come back there." Oh, no, that's not tough enough at all. Kids can sense weakness. "Don't make me come back there." Ooh, yeah, that's better. In fact, that kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to listen to you practice your dad voice. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome everybody. Unscripted podcast is back. Apologies about shout out to Biggie Smalls first of all. I got the board all jacked up over here, but that's what happens when you're live and you fly solo. So I definitely appreciate everybody listening at the moment. These are kind of like the bloopers of the podcast. Just to know, if you never hosted a podcast and you've done it, and if you ever done one by yourself, it is definitely tough to go solo. It's always best to have somebody with you because they can work out the kinks while you have to get something to drink or anything like that. But it's the fun part of doing the podcast, man. You gotta have some type of bloopers here. So I say when we came back from the break, we were gonna talk about playoff LeBron, aka locked in LeBron. A lot of people are saying, okay, it's time now. Like LeBron's finally said, look, enough of the jokes. It's time for me to go out there and do my thing. LeBron came out 38, 12, and 8. Anthony Davis played well right behind him. Again, I slandered KCP, but he's had a solid game. But I tell you this, though. Again, if or when the Lakers lose another game in this series, they're all going to point to a LeBron James. But I got to give him credit. He came out. He played strong. He took whatever shots that he wanted. He dominated the game. He did exactly what LeBron James should be doing. Mind you, this guy turns 35 in December. Hasn't really lost a step. Again, I always say this. It's coming from a diehard Celtics fan. He truly hasn't lost a step and has had a major injury in his career. But I do think for the Lakers to go far in the playoffs, they've got to get more production. It can't be just LeBron James and Anthony Davis. For me, or for any Lakers fan that's listening, how many times when Danny Green shoot the ball, you just start going, not again? Like, Danny Green is the king of bricks. Like, it's not, for the Lakers fans, it hasn't worked out as well. Again, the Lakers should beat Portland, everybody's favorite number 8 seed, because we all loved Portland going into that 8 seed game, but it seemed like it's starting to fade away. And I don't think it's fading away because of Damian Lillard. I think Damian Lillard's been playing well. C.J. McCollum has played well. Even Carmelo Anthony. Like, there were some spots in the game where I felt like Melo was, like, going back into, like, old Melo. Like, I mean, he was squaring up, and he was off the triple threat move, and I'm like, oh, we're just going to turn back the clock here. We're just going to go back to 2012. And I respect it, man, because Carmelo Anthony was a guy who was disrespected in this league, and he's came back, and to me, he still belongs in this league, even at 36 years of age. So I would like to see whenever Portland's season ends, hopefully they can retain Melo's services. If not, if another team goes out there and probably just, gives Carmelo that type of contract, I'm not going to be mad if he walks away from it. Walks away from the Portland Trailblazers. The problem with the Blazers is, and I say this about every team, in the NBA, you can have these big threes, you can have these fantastic fours or these whatever kind of super team you want to have. You got to have a bench in the NBA. Okay? So I look at this game and I look at Gary Trent Jr., who has 6 points. And the only person that scored up the bench was Hazonia. 2 points. So you got a total production off the bench, 8 points. 8 points off the bench. That's what you got. That's not going to win a game. That's not going to win a series. Like, that tells me that you don't even stand a chance if you're only getting 8 points off the bench. So, again, Terry Stotts has done a great job. I think Portland came into this bubble with a plan. The plan has worked. They've made the playoffs. I still say Los Angeles Lakers in 6. So, looking to see what the Lakers do to close out the series. To close it out in 6, that's what they're on pace for. They'll be looking forward to round 2. Definitely, I know everybody will be watching the Lakers games tonight. They will be wearing the Mamba jerseys tonight. Those jerseys are sick. Let me tell you that. I like the concept, but they put the Mamba skin underneath it and everything like that. So I'm gonna give shout out to whoever designed these jerseys, because y'all forgot, whoever designed those pinstripe Lakers jerseys last year should be fired, and I hope they are still not employed by the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, so we're talking historic franchises. We're going to shift over, and we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. The Celtics have completed the sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers, and as we all seen today, the Sixers have fired Brett Brown. So, it's time for a change for Philadelphia, and I get it. The coach has always made the scapegoat. It's either make the coach the scapegoat or a player that really, it's not his fault. They pin it on him. But they've pinned this on Brett Brown by saying, hey, we're not reaching our cylinder. We're not doing this. When the whole trust the process thing started, it was real cool. Brett Brown started turning this team around. They started going from laughing stock of the NBA to, whoa, the Sixers made the playoffs. They go and get Ben Simmons, go get Joel Embiid, and thinking this thing's going to turn around. It was supposed to turn around. And then last season, they go out and steal Al Horford from the Boston Celtics. And it's still, and the initial picture was, who is going to beat this team? They put themselves out there very fast. Let me tell you something. Philadelphia put themselves out there like they were the Heatles. Like, they weren't the Miami Heat Big Three. They weren't the Boston Celtics Big Three. They weren't the Spurs. I didn't understand that picture at all when it was like, who's going to beat them? They weren't world beaters. Yeah, they picked up Al Horford, but they weren't world beaters. And we just seen that. I think we have given, like, we're saying, okay, Boston swept a lesser team without Ben Simmons. Remind you, they paid Tobias Harris. What is it, $180 million, I want to say? $180 million for Tobias Harris? He's supposed to be the guy that's there. You paid $100 and something for Al Horford. He's supposed to be the guy that's there. You're not going to single-handedly tell me that the Celtics swept the Philadelphia 76ers because they didn't have Ben Simmons. Listen, Ben Simmons is a floor general, right? I'm not going to take that away from him. But you're not going to tell me that the Celtics couldn't beat the Sixers with Ben Simmons on the floor. Maybe in 5, maybe in 6. It wasn't going too much further. Nobody was hitting anything for the Sixers. Okay, the Sixers got to lead a couple of times. But again, I think Brett Brown was made as a scapegoat. If this team is going to stay the same, which looking on their roster, they can't make a lot of moves. They need to bring in a new head coach. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to shock everybody. I know everybody wants to think about Mark Jackson because he's not getting a job. That job is not for Mark Jackson, okay? They already have an established floor general. I'm going to tell you who that job is for. And I don't know if he's going to leave San Antonio for it. No. Not Greg Popovich. Tim Duncan. I say this because Tim Duncan could probably bring out the best in Joel Embiid. Now, don't get me wrong. He was fantastic the entire series. But there were times where you look for Embiid to take over. He was gassed. He was out of it. And I get it, asking to do a lot. It's a lot to be dependent on 120% offensively with no help. But I think Tim Duncan can get the best out of this team. They have a lot of bigs. I think Tim Duncan can show the other bigs how to stretch the floor out a little bit better and everybody not be crowded up in the paint. So, again, I think Brett Brown did a great job for that organization. He turned them around. He's turned them, into a respectable team. I don't think they were a championship contender. They were supposed to be a championship contender, but I don't think they're a championship contender yet. I would like to see them get Tim Duncan, and maybe, just maybe, the Philadelphia 76ers can get over the hump. All right, talking about getting over the hump would be the defending champion Toronto Raptors. Think about it. In their franchise history, they have never swept a team. So they've been in the league since, 95, 96? Never swept a team in 24, 25 years. They completed the sweep of the Brooklyn Nets, and, we all knew it was going to happen. We all seen it was going to happen. Kyle Lowry went down in this game, which kind of alters the next series with the Boston Celtics, which we'll talk about later on in the week. But Kyle Lowry went down. Nobody knows the severity of the ankle sprain. You don't know if it's a mild or one of those high ankle sprains. And trust me, if it's a high ankle sprain, it puts him out a little bit, and it's asking Van Vliet to do more. I know the Nets are looking forward to next season. I'm going to say this, and again, I always draw some type of controversy to my Twitter, which you can follow me at Brian A-Line. Shameless plug as always. The Nets want to go after Tyronn Lue or somehow pry Greg Popovich out of San Antonio. Of course, we know this. Kyrie Irving wants Tyronn Lue. Kevin Durant wants Greg Popovich. Nobody's saying thank you, Jock Vaughn. You got us here. You got us here. I think you deserve another shot. Nobody is saying, oh, well, let's look other places. I don't think at this point of his career, like Greg Popovich wants to shift gears and go to Brooklyn. I just don't see that. Maybe a Tyronn Lue can be there, but Brooklyn's going to have a lot of holes to fill next season because you're going to get Spencer Dinwiddie back. You have Karis LeVert, you have Kevin Durant, and you have Kyrie Irving. That's just too. Not going to say it's too much, but all four of those guys have to be able to score. All four. I'm sorry, guys. I get alerts during the game, so it's kind of crazy. All four of those guys have to be able to score and have the ball in their hand. So I'm looking to see what the Nets are going to do as far as a head coach. Again, it's not Mark Jackson because, and I get it, Mark Jackson's getting a raw deal, but it's not going to be Mark. I wouldn't think it's going to be Greg Popovich. It'll probably be Tyronn Lue. I definitely want to see other assistants get interviewed for that job. Again, I throw certain names out there, Jerry Stackhouse and Darvin Ham, Nick Van Axel and Sam Cassell. I just throw a lot of names out there I think that deserves a chance to, be a head coach in the NBA. I don't think that the player should be able to pick the coach. And then, it's funny because I was talking about getting alerts and everything like that. And, the quickest alert that I get is bad blood between Westbrook and Steven Adams. And it looks like they had some words during the timeout that I probably missed today. Shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder who tied the series up at 2 games apiece. I said this, and it seems like I just keep – I'm not going to say I'm right. I'm not going to pat myself on the back that much every time. But it just seems like I always say the exact same thing will never work. And what did I say? Shooting three-pointers will not get you to the finals. And if it gets you to the finals, you won't win an NBA championship. So you shot 58 three-pointers. Yes, you made 40% of them, but you shot 58. Are you telling me that you couldn't step in and take a better shot? Not just the Houston Rockets. I think the NBA has fallen in love with these 25, 30-footers. I get it. They make the crowd go, oh, they make us even jump out of our chairs. But sometimes I like to see somebody step in and take that shot. I always call it the Karl Malone shot. If you develop that shot, like how many people right now listening to this podcast, and I dare you if you say Karl Malone wasn't great. Karl Malone was great. That little jump shot that he had was a killer. He would kill you with that jump shot. Tim Duncan, it wasn't beautiful, but it scored points. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I'm naming a lot of elite people, but sometimes you have to step in and take a better shot. Now, I tell you, again, I'm shocked. I kind of wrote the Thunder off. I said the Thunder were done. I was like, man, 2-0. Harden's not going to lose a 2-0 series. They're probably winning 5. Chris Paul looks determined, though, man. Like, CP3 wants to beat Houston. And I think he's putting that in his team's head, like, we got to beat Houston. We will beat Houston. Just think about it. It's not about Oklahoma City going any further than this. Let's say if they beat Houston. Chris Paul going to smoke a cigar. He going to smoke a cigar and say, oh, y'all got rid of me? Y'all got rid of me. Y'all said that I was the problem. James set this up for me to get out of the door. Nah, it wasn't me. It was your system. And honestly, let me tell you this. If the Oklahoma City Thunder win the final 2 games, be prepared because Mike D'Antoni is out the door. Listen, I say this about D'Antoni all the time. When he was with the Phoenix Suns or even the New York Knicks, his coaching style only gets you but so far. And I didn't mean to say, I meant to say the Lakers. I'm sorry. His coaching style only gets you so far. The shooting 3-pointers every single time you come down, it's a round 2 at the most. It's not a conference finals appearance. It's not an NBA finals appearance. It just isn't great coaching. I don't like it, nor will I ever like it. And I think once if Houston moves on, if Houston doesn't move on and they decide to fire Mike D'Antoni, then their whole game plan goes out the window because guys won't know what to do with a new coach coming in there because the new coach, I don't believe, would allow 58 3-pointers per game. That's insane. 58 threes? I mean, just think about it. Like, I don't get it. Again, I don't like it. Houston loves it, but that's why the series is tied 2-2. No need to really even discuss Milwaukee and Orlando. Again, if you guys are watching this series, I watch a little bit of it. But if you watch 4 quarters of Milwaukee and Orlando, man, look, I'll take my hat off right now. Salute to you. You get all my respect in the world. It's no disrespect to either of those 2 teams. I'm just not watching Orlando and Milwaukee. I will catch some of it, but I mean, when I say some of it, some of it. I know there's one guy for the Milwaukee Bucks who hasn't had a good series, and I've been peeping around. He finally came through a little bit today. Was Chris Middleton. I can tell you this, and for some reason, Middleton just scorches Boston when he plays Boston. But I tell you like this, Giannis is going to need Middleton. He's going to need Middleton big time in the next series. I mean, you can't go through and not have a Robin if you're going to be Batman. You got to have that part 2 on your side. All right, well, I know everybody's watching the Heat and the Pacers. Again, another good series, neck and neck. I can tell you this. I thought the playoffs were going to be boring, I can say, because there wasn't no home, there wasn't no away team. But it looks like the guys are still fighting. There's still some grit. There's still some grind there. I can say as a basketball fan, I truly appreciate that because I thought we were going to be sitting back and not being able to enjoy the playoffs. Tomorrow night, 2 games for us. We got the Jazz and the Nuggets, Mavericks and the Clippers. We'll definitely be locked in before the Clippers and Mavericks game. With that being said, as always, I appreciate everybody that takes time, whether or not you listen to the whole 30-plus minutes or you listen to 5 minutes. I must say thank you as always. I truly appreciate all your support, all the reposts on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. All that is definitely appreciated. I need to start saying this at the end of the show because I got to give thanks to God for allowing me to be able to do things like this because this is a hard thing to do, but God gives everybody a special talent, and I must thank the man above. And as I always say on Facebook, remember God is love. Get some. I'll see you guys on episode number 4 on the other side. Unscripted Podcast. We're out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time.